Do y'all think that the better team won, or was this just a bad game?
They got a cloud hanging over their head.
You execute when you're supposed to execute, and we didn't do that. They were the better team in that game.
All right, Matt, can you tell me, Wes, it's going to be all right?
Wes, it'll be okay, but you're gonna have to give me a minute because I'm still trying to like pat myself down and get my heart rate down after that old Mississippi State game. God.
Yeah, that was a brutal one. Can you? I need some affirmations here. Can you
Okay,
say,
I got you.
Wes?
I got you. Yeah.
It's going to be a long season.
Okay, Wes.
It's a long season.
It's a long season.
Matt, can you say, Wes, Georgia's better team than Alabama, but insists on performing on a subpar level against them in perpetuity. And although it seems like it'll never end, one day the madness has to. I'm just kidding. I don't expect you to say that.
Listen, you lost me at perpetuity, so yeah. But listen, we'll get into it, but it sure does seem. I don't know if you saw this week's SEC shorts.
I did,
but
I watched it
today. The part with the Kirby Smart, or sorry, Alabama is your daddy. I was like, it hits.
That could be true. Although, if I may, before we get into the regular part, the people who are showing Kalen DeBoer as Kirby's daddy, I'm like, it's been 2 games, and they've both been really good, close games. That's not daddy. Come on.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes on the DeBoer bus. Quite
anyway.
Yet. I'm still not sold on that cat, but we'll discuss.
Yeah, let's talk about those games.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
I mean, you can be all kinds of other places. I mean, you can be third, fourth, hell, you can be fifth. Oh man, let's talk about LSU at Ole Miss. Ole Miss winning here 24-19. Matt got the point here. Yeah, so Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss looked like maybe there's some nerves early on, but then they settled in and the offense got into a rhythm and took 17-7 lead into halftime. LSU got a couple field goals after that, but Ole Miss extended the lead again with a touchdown run by Logan Diggs in the 4th. And honestly, I felt like, and I know the scoreboard doesn't reflect like an offensive dominance by Ole Miss, but there was a lot of this game where I really just sort of felt like they could sort of do whatever they wanted on the field. So I will say an extra point here is Brian Kelly recently has been irate with reporters who suggested that LSU couldn't run the ball. Well, LSU rushed for 57 total yards in this one, while Ole Miss rushed for 166. So it seems like those concerns may have been founded. Matt, what are your thoughts on this game?
I think this is a classic example of the press calling someone out on something they know is a fact, and the coach doing their best coach speak and trying to spin it. And the spin don't work, coach. It ain't working. Listen, LSU's run game's anemic. I went back and looked on the season. Their top running back, Caden Durham, is only averaging 4 yards a carry right now. That's
Yikes.
Really bad. And we had kind of sort of already said that Garrett Nussmeier was going to be a Heisman candidate this year. And listen, in order to have a good pass game, you got to have a little bit of run game. You can't be one dimensional. It doesn't work like that. And it's just LSU has no run game right now. They kind of struggled to stop, and their defense didn't do so hot either. I mean, they gave up almost 500 yards total offense. Trinidad Chambliss is a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he's just absolutely annihilating folks, and he's going to be an issue going forward in SEC play. Ole Miss is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I have a feeling. I'm a little surprised that we didn't get more touchdowns with all those yards, but again, the 2 turnovers might have something to do with that. But also, and Jesse's not with us this week, but I do want to focus in on Jesse's main point of contention when looking at a game from an SEC team. 14 penalties. That's a lot. Got to clean it up, Lane. Got to clean it up. That stuff's going to come back to bite them at some point down the line. But they're clicking right now. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yep. There's more big games for them to come, including Georgia in a few weeks. So
Mm,
next is Auburn at Texas A&M. A&M winning this one 16-10. Matt got the point here, but in this a really high scoring baseball score. I don't know what's going on here, but
me neither.
the A&M defense continues to impress. Obviously, Auburn's got a good defense as well. Although they were the bend but don't break defense for Auburn because they gave up 414 yards but only 16 points. Um, and Auburn's defense gave them life, though, with a pick in the third, which put them first and goal, and they cut it to 13-10. But then the defense pretty much prevailed from there on both sides, and A&M did win this one 16-10. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of those where, man, if you love defense, I guess it's a good game. Matt, what were your thoughts?
Um, Again, you're going to notice there's some trends here. 0 for 12 on third down. 0 for 12. Hugh Freeze, the quarterback whisperer for all them years when he was at Mississippi State. I just had a brain fart.
Hugh Freeze, Ole
Um,
Miss,
Ole Miss. Sorry, I get my Mississippi
and
teams mixed
Liberty
up.
too. Don't
And
forget
Liberty,
Liberty.
Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. I mean, 0 for 12 on third down is rough.
Yeah.
It's if you can't convert on third down, your offense isn't going to be able to stay out there. And Auburn has had some serious issues with protecting the QB. This week and last week total combined, they've given up 15 sacks, which is bad. I mean, you gave up I think 6 in this game and 9 against Oklahoma or something along those lines. It's really rough. And we just got on LSU about not having a run game. Let's talk about Auburn. Auburn in this game, the longest run in the game by an Auburn running back was 9 yards.
Yikes.
You got to have a chunk play or two somewhere, right? Not if you're Auburn's running game because it was anemic to say the least. That's a big yikes. And something else after the game is, Mike Elko's getting a bit snippy in these post game pressers. I read, he's I don't know what it is. Maybe he's not used to people shining the apple for him, but man, it's giving me LSU head coach vibes, and I don't
Uh,
dig it. It's not a good look. I feel like you just kind of have to roll with the punches. I mean, this is a tough business, man. You can't get your feelings hurt every time somebody calls you out when something's not going your way.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you
But
gotta
but I
just let
but I
it
do want to
roll
point out
off.
that Texas A&M does have like the second or third. I think I was looking at the stats earlier. Second or third most productive offense in the conference right now. They've got I think the number 3 and number 6 wide receiver by yards in the conference. So I mean they're putting things together, but
Yeah, just got to get
you
those
gotta
points on the board.
you gotta get some points too. You can't
Right,
just roll off of yards.
right, exactly. Um, all right, well, there was a lot of points scored in this game. Let's talk about Tennessee at Mississippi
Oof.
State. All I'm going to say is Tennessee survives because I'm sure you have lots to say about this one. What do you got?
Yeah, like you said, whoo, that was a barn burner. It was back and forth from the jump. I was really under the impression that UT was going to have a whole lot of trouble, and then it just took forever to kind of get Mississippi State to go away. I mean, Tennessee was trailing in certain spots during this game, but look, anytime you can walk away with a road win in the SEC, I'm not going to say boo. And Heupel, God bless him, has had issues playing on the road over the last couple of years. There's always this one loss in the season that we should have won the game to a less not bad opponent, but someone you should have taken care of. And they found a way to win this thing. Thank goodness. A big part of that had to do with the wide receiver core. They really struggled, and I think they had like 4 or 5 really bad drops in the first half. Mike Matthews, Chris Brazell really got it going in the second half, and they ended up doing just enough to get by. Um, Again, the defense gave up a lot of points, but they're also able to really disrupt. They got 5 sacks in this one, not to mention a scoop and score, and a pick six, which were huge, 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 and pivotal in helping win that game. So, Mississippi State's not a bad team. I mean, that they have a win over what was then a top 15 Arizona State team. They almost had a win over a top 15 Tennessee team. Mississippi State might sneak up on somebody and knock somebody out when they're not really repped for them.
Yeah, I'm so confused by this because The question is, did Tennessee just lay an egg here and get away with it, or is Mississippi State maybe turning the corner a little bit? I don't know.
I think it might be a little combo of both.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee historically does not play well on the road. When we get out of the friendly confines of Neyland Stadium, Tennessee does struggle a hair. You look at Ohio State last year, look at Missouri a couple of years ago, look at Arkansas a couple of years ago. It's just one of those things where they're going to struggle on the road. And they did this week, but they managed to get a win. And I think Mississippi State might be better off than they were. Maybe they're not as bad as I was looking back at our tiers this afternoon, and I was like, we all had Mississippi State down that bottom category, and we kind of screwed the pooch on that. We might be wrong.
A little bit, yeah. All right. I don't think I mentioned the score. Tennessee won 41-34. If you'd have told
In
me
overtime.
that would have been a game at the end last week, I would have laughed at you though.
Me
But
too.
uh, but you got the
I ain't,
win.
I ain't laughing this week. I ain't laughing this week. I'll take the dub.
Yep. All right. Alabama at Georgia. Bama won this one 24-21. Jesse gets 2 points because she got the score exactly right. So kudos to Jesse. She's not here right now. She's on vacation. Hope she's having fun. I feel bad for her and those vacation vibes.
She's
Whatever.
really going through it. Really
I'm
going
telling
through
you.
it. Thoughts and prayers for Jessie because
That's right.
you're going to talk about a rough place to be.
Oh man. But one day, one day, Georgia will realize that they can beat Bama and do it consistently. I know we've beat Bama in the national title, but look, it's like they didn't get over it then. It's like they didn't realize, okay, this is doable more than once. It might not be during my lifetime, but one day it's going to happen. Actually, aside from the exact score, this game went overall pretty much like I thought it would. Georgia got punched in the mouth early, just like Tennessee. They showed resiliency, didn't roll over, just like the Tennessee game. But unlike the Tennessee game, they just couldn't find that last bit of momentum to push them over the top at the end there. So, first half was horrendous. Nate Frazier put the ball on the ground yet again, and although the defense was able to hold him to a field goal from that, obviously 3 points was the difference in the game. It's a shame because he's a talented back. He's just really struggles with fumbles, and so man, I heard Kirby mention that just has a lot to do with just confidence and how he's holding the ball and all that stuff. So I don't know what needs to happen, but it would be great to have him back as a list in the list of reliable backs. So the D line couldn't get any pressure on Ty Simpson. There's a direct correlation between the lack of pressure and the consistent chunk plays by Alabama. The DBs couldn't cover anybody once again. We saw this in the Tennessee game, which is why it was key to get that pressure. When you don't get that pressure, bad things are going to happen. Defense as a whole couldn't wrap up and finish tackles. We saw that where they would. There were several instances where Bama runs that should have been 2 or 3 yards ended up being 7, 8, 9 yards and even longer. Now, to their credit, the defense cleaned things up and held Bama scoreless in the second half. But here's kind of where the coaching blunders happened. And we can second guess these, and obviously if they'd gone the other way, we're calling the coaches geniuses. But first of all, going for it on fourth down when we're only down a field goal, to me is just wild. I mean, I get it. You're trying the momentum game. You're trying to catch them off guard. But second, if you're going to call a play on hurry up, don't do just the simple handoff. And if you have to do the simple handoff, don't give it to Cash Jones. I get it.
That's a Mike Bobo special.
He's the third down back, and since they were doing hurry up, he's the back that's in there at fourth down. But like we had success using our bigger running backs who are less likely to go down. And obviously a block was missed on that play, a couple of them actually, that allowed them to get into the backfield and no chance on that fourth down play because of that. But I don't know. This is not the play call we need to make, not the personnel we need on the field in that type of situation. I would lots rather seen them do a fake handoff with Gunner keeping it and maybe trying to run on his own. We saw that a little bit. He's a tougher runner, and a little bit of misdirection might have bought the space that we needed there. After after this performance, I need all the Georgia players to take a long look in the mirror and get real embarrassed because they need to remember losing at home to a Bama team that's been incredibly soft this season so far. Now, look, I'm not going to say that Bama hasn't improved. And obviously, it's the game against FSU is tough to evaluate too with all the weather conditions and things like that. But that feeling, and Kirby talked about this in the press conference, but that feeling of the loss needs to propel them going forward. So keep in mind, Georgia's got plenty of games left on the schedule that could go south. Auburn's always a wild card, especially on the road. Ole Miss looks really good right now. Florida's probably going to come out and have the game of their lives against Georgia because that's what usually happens in that rivalry.
Yeah.
And
They do
then
that
Tech,
against Tennessee too.
yeah, and Texas is like I don't know how to evaluate them. Are they good? Are they not good? Right now, it's looking like they might not be as good as we thought they were at the beginning of the season. But who knows? We'll see how that goes. We do have them at home, so that helps. And then we end the season against Georgia Tech, and we know that Brent Key's hatred for Georgia is so great that he's made it his own personal goal to focus on Georgia every year. So, who knows what's going to happen with that one? The margin for error is really slim right now. I'm not saying Georgia can't make it to the playoffs with two, possibly three losses, but man, you've made it tough on yourself at this point. So, that's really all I got to say. Obviously, I'm venting a little bit here too. I obviously in our group text I was very angry, more so
Very.
the fact that I know what probably could or should have been. However, take a step back and understand it's a long season. There's plenty of opportunity, but man, made it tough on ourselves. What are your thoughts on this one, Matt?
You're where I was when we lost to UGA a couple weeks ago, Wes. So, I mean, I get it. And I had to do the same thing. I had to take a deep breath and tell myself, this isn't the BCS anymore. You don't have to win every single game. You can survive on a win or a loss or two. And you don't want more than two, though. You don't want more than two. You start getting to 3 and 4, you can go ahead and forget about
It's
it.
dangerous. Yeah.
I was convinced, and I was talking to people at work. I was talking to my assistant principal. I mean, my pick last week, I think, was 33-20 Georgia. I thought UGA was going to come in and take care of business and keep that home victory streak intact, and just poof, there it went. Man, I was wrong. Ty Chandler looked really good in this one. I don't know where this game. Timpson. Why did I say Ty Chandler? That's a running back at Tennessee like 8 years ago. Oh God, I need to go to bed. Ty Simpson looked really good in this one. I expect him to look a little bit better going forward. I'm just trying to figure out where he's been all season because Bama's looked beatable in pretty much almost every game they've played, with a couple of exceptions. Obviously, it's just Bama's up, down, up, down, up, down, and I think that's a reflection of DeBoer. And I've said it. I said it last year. I said it again at the beginning of this year. I'll say it again right now. And if you're a Bama fan, you can at me on Twitter or you can put in the comments on the video. I don't think DeBoer's the guy. I think that Bama got keyed up for this thing. I think Bama's going to continue to they're going to putter along. I'm not ready to crown them SEC champs. I'm not even going to go down that route. I think that they're going to get popped in the mouth for too long. Whether it's Auburn or one of the other teams they have to play, I'm not sold, and I won't be sold until they can take care of more business than what they've already done.
Yep, there's going to be a lot to follow there because, like you said, up down. It's hard to get a real read, but we'll get more of a read pretty soon. Next is Kentucky at South Carolina. South Carolina winning this one 35-13. Jesse got the point here. Cutter Boley got the start for Kentucky with Zach Calzada hurt. This one actually, obviously, it was pretty lopsided in Carolina's favor. However, Carolina did have both a fumble recovery and an interception that they returned for touchdowns in this one, which ended up being a rout of Kentucky. So, Matt, what were your thoughts on this one?
I don't understand what's happened to the Wildcats. They're so bad. They can't do just the offense is anemic. The defense can't stop. I mean, now granted, they kind of shut down Lenore Sellers a little bit. He didn't have a touchdown pass, and he only had 81 yards on the ground. I say only 81, but I mean, this is a guy that's pretty dynamic. So I mean, I guess they kind of did something, but just 4 turnovers. Kentucky had all the turnovers, and SE definitely jumped all over them. It's just Kentucky's struggling, and I don't know at what point you kind of have to step back and be like, what's going on? How come, where are we at? What's going on? It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
sure.
I mean, kudos to South Carolina. I mean, they're Um, they keep winning games, and as
Well,
much as
talk about up and down. They're
it
hard to
much
get a
as
read
it
on too.
yeah, again, it's Jekyll and Hyde this year with
Yeah.
Bama's Jekyll and Hyde. South Carolina's been Jekyll and Hyde. Georgia's been Jekyll and Hyde. Missouri hasn't really played anybody yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to run into a buzzsaw at some point.
Yeah.
Because you know how Drinky's teams can be up and down too.
Right.
There's
For
no
sure.
that's something that a bunch of the talking heads on ESPN this weekend were talking about. There's no clear number one in the SEC. It's wide open.
No.
I mean, the
No.
only one that you could potentially maybe make an argument for is Ole Miss.
Right.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
Yeah.
a big maybe. Tennessee's only a field goal away from being undefeated and probably the number one team in the SEC, but it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. We have no idea what's happening anymore.
And speaking of a mess, we had Notre Dame at Arkansas, which I didn't plan on talking about because it was such a blowout, 56-13, Notre Dame winning. But man, we have to talk about it because they got Sam Pittman fired. So,
How dare they?
I'm telling
I
you.
needed another reason not to like Notre Dame. Join a conference, stop getting our coaches fired. Sam
And
Pittman didn't deserve that.
and in just a bizarre, otherworldly, alternate universe, full circle moment, guess who is the interim head coach at Arkansas right now?
If I'm getting word, yes, it is. It's the guy that broke his neck riding the motorcycle with an intern. Yes, I do believe. Yes, that would be what's his name, Wes? Remind me.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino. Yes, Bobby Petrino.
I was like, do I hear the rumblings of a motorcycle?
Of a motorcycle, yeah. I hope he's staying off the motorcycles in Fayetteville now, because oh boy. Here's what's going to happen, Wes. You ready for this? This is going to be the weird thing. I know that he came in and cleaned house.
Oh yeah,
I saw
defensive
that.
staff
I saw they fired. They got rid of the defense coordinator. I think they got rid of like 3 position coaches. Like he came in and was like, okay, fine, they're all gone. Petrino's going to go find a way to win 6 games, 7 games.
And
They're going to go on a hot streak.
You think
You
and be
watch.
made the actual head coach?
And be made. And it'll be again come full circle. He'll be the full-time head coach, and it'll be Weirdsville all over again.
What a timeline to be alive in.
I personally am not favoring this timeline. It kind of sucks. So we can go a different route if we need to.
It's just,
But poor Pittman, man. I feel
bad for him.
I just when they hired him, and you can go back and watch the tape. We talked about it. We were all kind of like, Pittman, Sam Pittman, like what,
Yeah.
like the O-line coach? Like he's not been a coordinator. Like
Right.
the head coach? You want to make him the head? And here's the thing: like Arkansas's offense had some productivity this year. I mean, they looked pretty good in spots. I think they've got like the number 3 running back in the league. Like they're doing stuff. The problem is they just couldn't finish games.
Well, and ball security. They're big. They had such a prolific offense, but they just couldn't take care of the ball, and the defense struggled. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens. Best of luck to Sam. Hopefully he'll, I know he'll land on his feet somewhere with
Well, he was
some
talking
position.
about retiring soon anyway, wasn't he?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what his intentions are, but he just had hip surgery and lost some weight and all that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe he's looking to stay out there, but who knows? We'll see.
He's good for another 100,000 miles. He'll probably he'll land on his feet.
That's it. I don't really have much on these other games. It was just Utah State at Vandy and Massachusetts at Missouri. Not really much to report from those. It kind of went the way we expected.
A lot of points.
Pick'em standings. Jesse has 23. Matt has 17. I've got 17. So Matt made up some ground. We're all
Back
kind
in the
of
mix.
Yeah, that's right. So helmet stickers. Matt, who are your helmet sticker recipients for this week?
I know it seems like every week I give it to a pair of quarterbacks, and I'm going to do that again this week. Trinidad Chambliss, 22 for 39 for 314 yards in the air, 14 carries for 71 yards and 2 total TDs, so I think that's pretty deserving, especially in a big old win like they had. And then, as much as it pains me to do this, because I don't like the kid, and there's nothing against him, it's just he wears that awful V on the side of his helmet. I'm going to go ahead and give this other helmet sticker to Diego Pavia. 26 for 34 for 321 yards, 9 carries for almost 80 yards, and 6 TDs in their win against Utah State. So that's a pretty impressive day.
So your fandom is sort of giving me a little bit of a glimpse because I'm unaware of the hatred between Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I know it's an interstate rivalry, but so that's a pretty intense disliking there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's always been the little brother that's always pulling on your pant leg when you're trying to walk. He's like, "Hey, come back here." That's kind of how I equate Tennessee and Vanderbilt's relationship
Right,
because Vanderbilt's never been super competitive, but
right.
Vanderbilt when they beat us back in 2018,
Hmm.
no, maybe it was 24. I don't remember. Well, the last time they beat us in Neyland, which was like the first time they'd beat us in like 25 years or something.
Hmm.
Vandy Twitter, which at the time wasn't really a thing, but there were a lot of people talking a lot of junk about how Vanderbilt was going to be the end all be all, and Vanderbilt turned the corner, and Tennessee was going to go to being the bottom dweller in the SEC East, and I never, I took that personal. I'm
Yeah, I
not, I'm
took
not
that
going to let
personally.
that go. I took that personally.
I gotta
But no,
go.
I have no love lost for Vanderbilt, and again, I keep wanting them to go to the Conference USA or something and get out of the SEC. But
You're relegated to a
they're
different
on the
conference.
they're on the up. So
Yeah.
game days there this week
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they're undefeated going
For
into
Bama
Tuscaloosa.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Can you believe? Oh,
I don't
sorry, yeah, they're in Tuscaloosa. Can you believe college game days going to Vanderbilt and Bama?
I need to look that up. When's the last time game day went to a Vanderbilt game, period?
You do
It's
your
got
helmet stickers, and
it's
I'll look.
gotta be a long time. Yeah, so gotta give props where it's due. Ty Simpson, he took what the defense gave him, didn't turn the ball over, made some great throws against Georgia. I'm gonna give helmet sticker to him. And then Fluff Bothwell in a losing
What a
effort
name!
to Tennessee. I'm telling you, yeah, 134 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns against a pretty good Tennessee defense. So, respect there. So give him a helmet sticker as well. Um,
Here's your fun fact, Wes.
okay.
October 4th, 2008, number 13 Auburn versus number 19 Vanderbilt.
Mm.
Kenny Chesney was the special guest pitcher in that game.
Was that
So
James Franklin Vanderbilt? Probably. Let's
I want
say
to say
they
yes.
had
I'm
better
not
years
100% sure.
under his
I
coach
think it was under
tenure.
Frank. It was either under Franklin or the guy that was right before Franklin.
Mm. Okay, well, not much to report other than just the little bit of news that we've talked about. But let's go ahead and get into predictions for this upcoming week.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Okay, so our first game that's coming up, Kentucky, 2-2, 0-2 in the SEC at Georgia, 3-1, 1-1 in the SEC. That's noon on ABC. Matt, what's your prediction for Kentucky at Georgia?
Listen, there are a couple of absolute truths in the world. You don't spit into the wind. Same as you don't tinkle into the wind. You don't spit on Superman's cape. And you don't want to play UGA the week after they lose to Bama. Historically speaking, that game has always been a absolute thrashing the week after they lose to Bama when it does happen occasionally. So I like UGA here, 45-14. Big win for the Bulldogs.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I mean, I like the logic behind it too. Georgia's got to be careful that they don't let one loss become two by assuming that they can just show up and beat Kentucky. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying they got to be careful of that. So I think they're going to be focused here. I'm going UGA 35-10 in this one. We'll get Jesse's picks later on if she's able to input those. But let's move to Vanderbilt 5-0, 1-0 in the SEC, at Alabama 3-1, 1-0 in the SEC, 3:30 on ABC. As you mentioned, game day is going to be there. Should be an exciting atmosphere. Matt, what's your prediction for this one?
Remember how I said that Bama's been up and down, up and down, up and down, and DeBoer's up and down, up and down, up and down? I'm going with Vandy. Going with Vandy in this one. I like Vandy's chances. Vandy's looked like they can do a lot on offense. The defense has done a pretty good job of kind of shutting things down. I think Bama's going to be a little hungover after last weekend after a big win in Athens. So I like Vanderbilt here. I'm going to pick Vanderbilt 28-24.
I don't think that's a bad pick. I think that's actually a pretty good pick. I think Vandy keeps it close, maybe closer, because Bama's feeling good about beating Georgia. I'm going to say Bama wins, but it's a nail biter, and I do expect Diego Pavia to make things exciting. I'm going to go Bama here, 24-21. Next is Texas 3-1 at Florida, 1-3, 0-1 in the SEC. They are playing at 3:30 on ESPN. Matt, what's your prediction here?
I really want to pick Florida. I really do, because I just think it would be funny if Florida has looked like absolute garbage all year, and then they find a way to make Arch Manning just look silly. And I don't know why I want that. I just kind of want it. So I'm not going to pick Florida because, again, I think Sunshine's the next guy on the chopping block. I think he'll probably be the one that gets fired next, because I don't foresee Florida winning a whole lot more this season. So I like Texas here, 28-14.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Texas. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the episode. The up and down, it's hard to figure them out. They got a great defense, but the offense is just hit or miss. So I think this is going to be a close defensive struggle in the swamp, and Texas pulls out a win, 21-17. All right, let's move to Kent State, 1-3 at Oklahoma, 4-0, 4 p.m. on the SEC Network. Matt, what's your prediction here?
I forgot. Mateer's still out, right?
He is.
Okay. I originally was going to say 55 to 10, but I'm gonna back that off a bit. I'm gonna say 42-10 instead now. Oklahoma.
Yeah, this is tough. I could probably knock that down too, but I don't know. Oklahoma's got a great defense, and I think that they're gonna pour it on. I'm going to go OU here, 56-3. And then finally, we've got a really short list of games this week. I guess there's teams on buys, and then we also have teams playing each other in the SEC. So it's fewer games. So Mississippi State 4-1, 0-1 in the SEC at Texas A&M, 4-0, 1-0 in the SEC. Matt, your prediction for this one?
Oh, I want to pull. Now that we've taken care of them, I really, really want to pull for Mississippi State to win this thing. And then I realized it's a night game. This game is at night, right? This is the late night kickoff. I was going to really pick Mississippi State here, but a night game at Kyle Field. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead.
7:30.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Texas A&M. I'm going to say 24-17 A&M.
Yeah. So I'm thinking along kind of the same lines. I think, unfortunately, Mississippi State gets their second loss right away. Like they were undefeated, and now they're going to get two back-to-back. It's a tough environment at Kyle Field. I'm going A&M here, 31-17. So. All right. Well,
and that's it.
That's it. Literally, what was that? 5 games?
Short week.
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 games in the SEC.
I want to look just to see who else is in action in the top 20. I mean, the board has to be pretty sparse if Bama Vanderbilt is your premier matchup this week. Hold on. I got to get to weeks. Is this week 6? Yes.
Week 6, yeah.
Listen to the rest of the slate on Saturday. You ready for this, Wes?
Yeah.
BYU, Virginia.
Oh.
Iowa State, Cincinnati. Wisconsin and Michigan. Illinois, Purdue. Penn State, UCLA. I want to point out that UCLA's 0-4 right now. The hate watch is still on. Virginia, Louisville. This is an awful weekend for football. Ohio State, Minnesota. The only other game that's kind of interesting is Miami, Florida State. And you watch, Miami's going to lay an egg there. Carson Beck throws 3 picks. You heard it here first.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, we're kind of in that middle of the season where we're going to have some bye weeks every now and then it's going to ramp up again. So. Well, short and sweet for this episode. Appreciate everybody listening to us. If you'd like to email us, hit us up at pigskinsandpageantry@gmail.com. You can contact us at Pigskins and Pageantry on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We are at PPSCC Podcast on X, and then we are available for download on pretty much all the platforms out there. for your iPhone, Android, other operating systems, etc. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment, subscribe, and review. We would love those 5 stars to increase our visibility and increase our chances of having conversations with wonderful people like yourselves. So until next time, it's time for the dogs to get right back on the right track. So I'm going, this is Wes, go Dogs.
That was the most laid back go Dogs you've ever done in your life, Wes. Listen, Tennessee gets a week to kind of revamp. Arkansas is coming to town in a couple weeks. We can do this. Go Vols.